I love 3-woods.
I like 3-woods.
I love 3-woods.
It's one of my favorite clubs.
All right.
What are we doing?
Let's talk about 3-woods.
Let's talk about 3-woods.
Welcome back to WGC Fits, guys. Today we're going to talk all about 3-woods and why it's kind of a misunderstood club in the bag.
I'll give you that. I agree with that, yeah. Ian's leading me on a path here. We're going to see where we go.
We both love our 3-woods. I technically play a weaker 3-wood. It's like a 16 degree.
And I play a stronger 3-wood because I have very specific things I'm trying to do with it.
Perfect. Now, how hard is it to fit for a 3-wood?
So I don't actually think it's a difficult club to fit for, but I think that people make it difficult, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And I say that because realistically speaking, there's launch conditions that I'm looking for. There's characteristics in the ball flight that I'm trying to find for that player, depending on what they're looking for. But often, I find that people aren't really sure of how to use a 3-wood. I guess that's the best way to put it.
I would agree.
You know?
From what I see playing is that people use this as the straight club off the tee, but it's
Correct.
not really any straighter degrees-wise than a driver.
I 100% agree with that too. That's often the hard part about it is people try to tell me that they want a safety tee shot club.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I kind of think that's
It's been disproven.
not correct, I guess is the best way to put
say
that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I don't look at it as a safety tee shot club, I look at it as a yardage tee shot club.
Yes.
Right? If I have to hit a certain yardage on a golf course that coincides with what my 3-wood does, I hit this club.
Yeah.
If I have to hit a certain yardage with my 2-iron, I do what that club does.
The way I do it is my driver goes 300 in the air. Mm-hmm. This thing goes about 280 to 285 in the air, but it stops quicker than a driver.
Correct. Think about if you have, fairways that are split. Think about if you have bunkers you're trying to stay short of. Think about if you have dog legs you're trying to play to, right? That's where these clubs come into play. If there's room to hit driver, I'm hitting driver.
Every day.
If there isn't room to hit driver, I'm probably not going to this, right? I'm probably going to make a better option for a club that does go a little straighter potentially.
Yeah.
But again, that's a distance club.
Correct.
It's got a job. If it doesn't do its job,
It's out of the bag.
it's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Simple.
But I want to talk today about how versatile 3-woods can be.
They can be very versatile.
Because now we have 4 degrees we can play with on this golf club.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to do different things.
Yeah, we can take this to a 13 all the way to a 17. So
Yes,
we can make it a strong, like a 2-wood, all the way up to a 4.
Effectively a 5-wood.
Yeah.
5-wood. My old 5-wood was 17 degrees.
Yeah.
Last year. So it's a thing, man.
It is a thing.
I'll use a fitting that I've had recently.
Yeah.
A player was in here for a driver and a fairway wood fitting. Got driver carrying right around 270.
Perfect.
Good, right? He was trying to tell me that he was expecting his 3-wood to go the same yardage. That's not possible.
No.
It's not what it's designed to do. He was hitting great 230 to 240 yard shots with it. But he keeps telling me that this isn't long enough. It's like, what's the best we got, man? Your only other option is driver off the deck. So again,
And that's hard to do.
exactly, right? I don't think it's a super difficult club to fit with, or fit for, but I do think that players' ideas around the golf club really is a challenging thing. because
Misunderstood.
Often people don't understand what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's honestly what I would say.
All right, AJ, so we got the coolest new 3-wood out that has 4 degrees of playability.
I'm typically a really big fan of Cobra fairway woods.
Yes.
If
We
there
just
is-
play in the X. Mm-hmm. Here's another thing that actually we didn't talk about is shape of the 3-woods.
Like the actual head shape.
No, the shape that it
shape,
is supposed
okay.
to produce.
That's very important as well, because I know that for myself, for example, I don't like seeing the ball go left. When I see the ball go left, I kind of don't want to play golf that day. I do have one club that I like to hit a draw with, though, and it's my 3-wood.
That is the same way. That is my only off the tee draw club.
Exactly. Anything else, I would rather slice it off the planet than see it go left, personally. I hate seeing, in general, the ball go left.
So, but here, that is a standard 3-wood for me. Mm-hmm. But so that's a standard, how far that go? 283? That's all I want a 3-wood.
That's
15 degree 3-wood.
It's leaking a little bit on you, but it's not bad.
Oh no, that's right edge fairway for me. Mm-hmm. But then if we turn it to minus, to a 13 degree, but in case, expect it to go a little lower, carry almost the same, but roll out more.
No, you might get a touch more carry.
Touch more carry? Okay, yeah, I got a touch more carry.
Because, again, you turn it over, and for you...
But that's what I want out of a lower degree 3-wood.
Yeah, right, and this is specifically why we don't put you in a 13-degree golf club.
No, because that's my driver.
Yeah.
Minus, or 5 yards.
And this is exactly what the fitting portion of this is.
Yeah.
Like, that's an unoptimal setup for you.
Unoptimal.
Right? That is not what we're looking for, because now we have a club that's very one-dimensional, right?
Yes.
And what I always tell players when I'm fitting them is I don't like creating one-dimensional golf clubs unless we truly have room in the bag for very specialty type clubs,
Yes.
right? For example, a utility iron for most players is like a 62-degree wedge.
Yeah.
Not necessarily something everybody can kind of, tackle,
Yeah.
right? But something that has a very specific job,
Agreed.
So that's how I kind of look at that one-dimensional idea.
All right, but now if we add 2 degrees and make this basically a 17-degree, I guess, wood.
Yep, like I said, my old 5 wood was 17.5 degrees, I'm pretty sure.
Like, look how high that goes.
That's going to go far, though.
What?
That's going to go far.
Yeah, 10 yards short.
That was good.
That's all I
that was going
expect.
way further.
Look how high it went. Mm-hmm. The carry was exactly what I expected.
I didn't see the peak height for a second.
Oh, yeah.
150.
It went up there. Well, it's a 3-wood length, but it's a 5-wood
3 wood length, 5 wood head.
So I almost argue that these clubs now are more versatile than the old-timey 3-woods.
Well, it's more versatile, but then the other thing that's really cool is, right, like it allows me to really hone in on what exactly it is that you want, right?
Yes.
Like if you need a club, if you come in here and you say, your club, you can't, there's certain holes where you can't hit a tee shot past 240, let's go find it.
Yeah.
Like let's be realistic with the expectation of it. Let's not look at it as a, safety tee shot club, if you will, because that's not correct.
Like I would take that on par 5s all day going into I was playing at Oakmont this year.
100%. Yeah. You use that on every other hole.
But I could argue now that these are so versatile, they can become course specific if you need to take off 2 degrees here and there.
That's exactly what I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
Like, coming with a game plan, coming with a plan of attack, because this is a club where often people think they don't hit it well.
Yeah.
It's not the case, right? I see a lot of people can make good contact with a fairway wood.
Yeah.
It's just understanding what it's supposed to do, right? I can't stress that enough, really.
Yeah. Like if I'm going out to Boulder Creek, I might get a 16.5 degree 3-wood, turn it down 1.5 degrees.
Yeah.
But if I'm going out to play a shorter course like Stonewater, I might pump this up to 17, 18 degrees.
Truly, one of the reasons why I carry a 3-wood period is there's 2 little mom and pop courses that I play.
Raccoon Hill, babe.
That's one of them. They're not great, right? But awesome golf courses, right? Stuff I grew up on playing. And there's a drivable par 4 that's a small, tiny hole, right? I love that hole. It's one of my favorite holes.
Yeah.
I pull out my 3-wood, green and reg every single
Green
time.
under reg.
Green under reg, yeah. Every single time almost, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just an automatic shot for me, an automatic club. And it's a club that I actually look forward to hitting on that hole, So, like, do I use my 3-wood many other places? If it comes up, sure. But, like, not often.
No.
Like, my fairway wood is my 5-wood, which this year playing around a 16, 17 degree number. And that's it, So, just how it works,
But that was my whole spiel on
works.
That was my whole spiel on 3-woods.
Yeah. I think that it's a misunderstood club. Often probably the most misunderstood club. And, I think more people should honestly try it. Because if you have an idea of what you need, and let's say just fairway woods in general, right? If you have an idea of what you need and we're realistic about, how we can achieve that, they're good clubs, man.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, this year, it's actually funny. Most of the companies and how they describe all their clubs that they've manufactured this year, all say that the fairway woods specifically are the ones they're the most excited about.
Good.
I'll tell you, the big 4, they've all said that to me. They're more excited about that than they are the drivers and the irons this year. So they're good clubs, man. You guys got to try them. Understand kind of what you're looking for, and then we can help you out. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, please let us know. And then give us ideas on things you'd like to see compared, let's say, in the comment section. And we'll try to provide that for you. Have a good one. We'll see you later.